Hello everyone, here I am with you today to talk about why it is often darkest before the dawn. And this is kind of a phenomenon with a lot of success and a lot of achievement that most people really don't know about a majority of the time. Now it makes its way a little bit into the monomyth, this idea from Joseph Campbell about how we all have this single story that we live into. Sometimes there's a last minute challenge before achievement that happens this way. But it's not often told in stories like exactly that kind of way. There's so many segmented parts of failure and the hero really trying to overcome challenges, and then there's the final boss or the final encounter or the final push at the end before you can achieve whatever. That is kind of common, but the darkest before the dawn phenomenon is a little bit different when it comes to success. A lot of the time you begin by doing this grind, as I've talked about in my video about how a lot of success is exponential, how you feel like you're going nowhere, but actually you're going somewhere until like you shoot up super fast because of exponential growth. Here we're kind of talking about the same effect in that it begins with this grind, and then you see results, and then it's taken off, and then it's working, and then there's this apparent failure, this idea of darkest before the dawn. So, I mean, if you look at the actual sunlight of the day, it is not darkest before the dawn, literally, but metaphorically it is here, because it's right before you have the big achievement that it feels like you fail, like everything's falling apart, like it's not going to work. I like to think of this as the last push. So if you've ever read The Art of War, Sun Tzu, that kind of stuff, you'll know about the term desperate ground, what it is to be on desperate ground. When an enemy is on desperate ground, they will fight to the death, okay? So he says never fight anybody on desperate ground. Now, the job of fear in your mind, being there are two basic parts of your mind, the loving part and the fearful part. And these are both they're not completely, but they're mostly outside your awareness. That's why they're the subconscious mind here. The loving part will try to push you on to achievement, make you feel happy, make you successful, everything you ever want. The fearful part will push you on to failure and try to stab you in the back all the time and all that kind of stuff. Now, our minds are never 100% fearful or 100% loving, so they're always in constant war with each other. Now, if you have a positive subconscious mind, it's because the loving side is the victor. He occupies like 80% of the mind, or something like that, okay? He has the majority at the very least. Now, on the other hand, you could have a fearful subconscious mind where he occupies the majority. And a lot of this channel is devoted to the idea of fighting off the fearful side, learning ways to see how the fearful side is not useful, how we can change our thoughts and therefore our beliefs and kind of conquer all of fear's fortresses and make them into our own when it comes to our mind. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to a success or an achievement, fear is basically on desperate ground when you're about to achieve it. So it's darkest before the dawn because fear is making his last push. He's trying to do his most to self-sabotage you, to ruin you. And if you give in to fear and you think that, okay, because it failed this last time, when I was about to succeed, when I was about to finally get this published, or finally get this strategy going, or finally get my marketing working, whatever it is you're pushing on, okay, it could be literally anything. This darkest before the dawn phenomenon often just occurs because it's fear's final push, saying, come on, I'm on desperate ground, I'm going to fight to the death. So he really roars up and says, I can take on your whole army. And if you can just push through that darkest before the dawn part, your loving side will take over, it will beat fear even though it's on desperate ground, so it's going to be a tough fight. But when it beats it, you will then arrive at finally having achieved success. That is the basic idea of darkest before the dawn. I will see you guys next time with the next video. Thanks for watching, so stay tuned, and I'll see you then.